All right, everybody, how's your day going? I hope you're having a fantastic day out there today. It is Super Bowl Sunday. If you watch football, I hope you enjoy your game today. I'm not a big football fan, but at the same time, I enjoy the festivities and getting around with some great friends and enjoying watching the game. So, like most of you out there, by the time this video films, I will probably be at my friends watching the game and having a great time. But that being said, even though it is Super Bowl Sunday, we are not going to let that stop us from putting out a video for everyone out there today. So for today, we're going to go ahead and talk about project cars and why they're never finished. In case in point is my 1972 Dodge Challenger behind me. I've owned this car for over 23 years now, and it's still not finished, and it will never be finished. And that is absolutely okay. That is part of the point of having a project car, is having something that you can wrench on whenever you feel like it. Now, of course, there are times when your project cars can make you feel like you want to pull your hair out, pull your hair out and just give up and get rid of the car. I understand that. I have had those days. It's definitely frustrating, but at the same time, project cars bring you such sense of joy and accomplishment, especially when you get something done like a major project. Right now on the Challenger, I've just finished doing a multi-month project on going through and restoring the dash. It's something that I've been waiting to do since I got the car over 20 years ago. When I first put the car together, of course, I went ahead and put a dash cap on the dash pad because I couldn't afford to send out the dash pad to have it restored. I also had the stock standard gauge cluster in it. Eventually, over the years, went ahead and upgraded to things like rally gauges and kept things nice and clean on it. But at the same time, it never had that new dash pad. Well, Dakota Digital, of course, they've been around for decades making amazing instrument clusters. And for the last 10 years, I have been bugging them to go ahead and make a cluster to go into the e-bodies that looks stock but has all the modern updates, like being backlit on the gauges. And they finally came out with one that I was actually excited about. They had a couple other versions beforehand that were pretty good, but and were great on like resto mods type cars, but on mine that I'm trying to keep the nostalgic original classic feel of it, they just weren't up to the level of what I was expecting, which of course, if you've been following my videos, you know those have been my thoughts on it. Well, of course, they finally came out this last year with the RTX line, and it gave me the urge to go ahead and just finally pull that trigger and do a full dash restoration on this car. And there was nothing wrong with the dash on this car. It was perfectly fine. The gauges worked and the dash cap looked decent. But I figured after 23 years, it was finally time to pull the trigger. And so I yanked the dash out of the car back in October, and it's finally buttoned up. And I couldn't be happier with the results. But it just goes to show you that these cars are never done. There's always something that you can do, and there's always advancements in technology and the aftermarket coming out with new products that make you want to go ahead and do upgrades and more projects on your project car. And it's just the nature of the beast. And hopefully more of the ongoing wrenching on your project car is for things that are out of joy and excitement for making the car better. Hopefully you have very minimal projects on the car that are because of necessity and things breaking. But that, of course, is also the nature of the beast, with especially a lot of these project cars like mine that are over 50 years old. Things wear out when you get that old. And even still with the newer stuff like my Honda, yeah, it's just a 92 Honda. It's my commuter car, but it is also a project car because as things wear out on the maintenance on it, I go ahead and upgrade them with high performance parts. Like when the shocks wore out, went ahead and put conies on it and dropped springs. When the bushings wear out, upgrade those with polyurethane bushings. When the exhaust wore out, put a stainless steel exhaust system on it. Project cars aren't necessarily just really old cars. They're just cars that you go ahead and have fun on the weekends, wrenching on and upgrading, learning new skills. And they are just a lot of fun and a good way to release some stress and escape from your other problems. Hopefully your project car doesn't cause you too many problems, but then again, they are project cars. That's how it works. sometimes, unfortunately. I'm definitely no stranger to that. I mean, a couple summers ago, I had to yank the engine out of this thing to tear it apart to figure out why it kept blowing oil gaskets. Finally sorted that out, put it back together, and it's been doing pretty well ever since. So it's just, project cars, they're not brand new cars. Some people do get brand new cars and turn them into project cars. But it's all about the passion and having a good time and having something to do. The day that this car is finished, it'll probably be the day that I die, because this car will always have something that I will always want to do to it. And especially I've learned that over the last 20 years, 23 years, by just the fact of seeing how technology has evolved over those years and how the aftermarket keeps growing over the years. There's just more and more things that I want to do to the car. I've already got a laundry list of projects that I've got lined up for this car, so you definitely stick around because you're going to want to see those. We're going to do things like install a vintage air system, get AC in this car. Going to go ahead and upgrade some of the suspension components, make it handle a little better. We're going to go ahead and put power windows in it, and probably eventually we go ahead and put an overdrive manual transmission in it, possibly do some fuel injection work. And there's just a lot of cool things out there on the aftermarket that make me want to do more projects on this car. And so it's absolutely a great part of this hobby. It's something I really enjoy. I definitely love jumping in the car, going for a drive, going to car shows, all of that stuff, but I also enjoy wrenching on these cars, and it's part of the hobby, it's part of the passion, and it's what makes this thing so great, is the fact that the project cars are never done. So if your project has currently got you in a rut, don't let that discourage you. These things come and go, you get highs and lows with anything in life. Project cars are no exception to that. Just try and make sure that your highs happen more often than your lows. And just keep in mind that, yeah, project cars in general just aren't ever finished, because that's part of the point and part of the process, and having fun with these cars is continuously wrenching on them, continuously making them better, having you grow, have the car grow. It's just an ever revolving process, and it's something that you can enjoy along the way. So for those who have people in their lives who think that project cars are a waste of time because they're never going to be finished, just look at them, tell them that's the point, is that they never finished. It's just something to have fun, and it's a hobby to get you away from your day-to-day drag. And that's my thoughts on project cars and why they're never finished. I hope you found this information useful as always. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, give us that thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously with that YouTube algorithm. And of course, if you want to be kept up to date with all of my future videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell as well, because as I've mentioned before, we've got a lot of great things planned this year, a lot of great content that you're not going to want to miss. And on that note, guys, enjoy the game today if you're watching it, and I will see you the next video.